friends, it's Cindy Brumbaugh from CindyLeeBDesigns.com, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Today I have a fun technique called the drapery fold, or you may have seen it called a curtain fold, or a double drapery, or a double curtain fold. It's been around a very long time, so to trace it back to just one person would be difficult to do. So if you look in the search bar on my blog or in Pinterest, you'll be taken to many cards that have drapery technique or curtain technique. So we're going to be using the beautiful All My Love Designer Series paper that's in the Occasions catalog, and it's with the sweet Meant to Be and the Forever Lovely. And so we're going to be using the Meant to Be bundle with the stamp set and the Be Mine stitched framelits. So beautiful. We're going to be using those on the card, and we're also going to be using the tufted embossing folder for this heart right here. Isn't that just a beautiful touch using that? So what we're going to do is use Flirty Flamingo paper, and that Flirty Flamingo paper is going to be cut to 11 inches by 4 1/4, and then we're going to score it at 5 1/2. So 11 by 4 1/4 scored at 5 1/2. All the measurements and all the products and supplies I used will be on the blog post for this card. If you're looking for this card, you just go to my blog, CindyLeeBDesigns.com, and subscribe so that you get notified in your email each time I post, which is usually 3 times a week, and anytime there's a special, and Wednesdays are when you can watch a video. So go over to the search bar on my blog and you'll put in the either technique, which would be drapery card or curtain card, or you could put in the name of the stamp set that I used. And that one, in this case, would be the Meant to Be. And that's where you'll find the card for this. So Flirty Flamingo is our card base. Then we're going to use the soft seafoam. Funny little story, my friend Peg had texted me today to see if she could grab a piece of this soft seafoam, but her phone auto-corrected it and it said, "Can I have some of that green seafood paper?" And so I thought that was a cute little fun today. So we're going to be using soft seafoam, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4. And on the inside of our card, after we score it and put it together, the inside is also 4 by 5 1/4. That gives you a nice 1/8 inch border the whole way around. And then we're going to be using that beautiful, beautiful paper, the All My Love paper. So many pretty patterns in that. And it comes with this beautiful ribbon in the suite. And the ribbon is a nice little 1/8 inch, almost like a very thin grosgrain, and it's Flirty Flamingo, and the other one's in Lovely Lipstick with white stitching. And we're going to be using the Lovely Lipstick on here because it just gives a nice dark pop to the softness of the other two colors here. So let's get started here first. Now I already have this scored here, this part that's going to make our drapery, because I had made a video and I messed up. So I'm just going to tell you how I did this. So what I did is I put this up at the top of my scoring tool. Now, a very smart thing to do when you're making this card is make yourself a template. And the first time I made this years ago, I made this template, and like I said, I probably got it off of somebody's blog or somewhere on Split Coast Stampers or somewhere out in the blogosphere. And thank you for whoever came up with this. And so I just made a template so I knew how to always score it. So it's an 11-inch piece of paper and a 3-inch wide. And I just happen to have these left over from a project you may have recognized when I used this paper. So what I did is I took my take your pick tool, because it has a stylus here, and I just scored it at 1 1/2, 2, 3, 3 1/2, 4 1/2, 5, 6, 6 1/2, 7 1/2, 8, 9, 9 1/2. So that gave me 1 1/2 inches on each of the ends. And then when you're done doing that, you have to create a diagonal cut so that you can fold it and it has this angled look to the drapery here. Okay, so what we're going to do there is take our ruler. We're going to get our stamping, our scoring tool out of the way, and what you're going to do is you're going to mark at the 5 and the 6-inch score lines. Okay, so 5 and 6. So I'm going to go down here, and this is the 5 and this is the 6. Put a pencil mark there and make sure that you can see it so that you don't end up putting it at the wrong one, and then your whole drapery is going to be off. Now, this is 3 inches, and you're going to come down to 1.5 on the left side and 1.5 on the right side. And then you're just going to go from that 5-inch mark to the 1.5-inch mark with your ruler. And you're going to make a nice light mark there, but dark enough that you can see it, but use a pencil that you know you can erase. So then go to the 6-inch mark at the bottom of your paper and go to the right side of the paper to the 1.5-inch tick mark that you made. And you will make another line. And then, as I always say, or as my daddy always said, make sure that you have checked yourself before you start cutting, because if you checked yourself. Okay, so I am going to take my paper snips now, and I am going to cut on that line. And so I'm going to, you know what? Yes, I'm just going to snip it. You could easily do this on your paper trimmer, which actually would be a great idea, because then you'd be sure that you'd have, you know, sometimes when you cut with your paper snips, it's not totally straight, but that looks pretty darn good there. Okay, so we're going to cut on this line as well. And just snip down on that pencil line till you get down to the other end there. And then you have this shape here, okay? And then take this and file it somewhere that you know you won't lose it, okay? So there is our drapery fold. Now what we're going to be doing is putting it onto the front of the card here, okay? So we are going to, you're going to actually, first of all, get all your little stray pencil marks off there, okay? All right, and then you'll decide which side you want to be predominantly showing. Like if you wanted this side to show and then just a little bit of the other one, but on this one, of course, I think the Flirty Flamingo with the flowers is the prettier side that I want to show, and then this just gives a little bit of pop of color there. So what you're going to do is start at one of these, the 5 or the 6-inch, and just start folding it. Just accordion fold, and do that on this other side as well, and you'll notice these 2 points will come in at the middle, and then you just accordion fold it. Okay, there we go. Then this one goes this way, so when you accordion fold, it has to go. Okay, so it gets a little tricky at this point because you've got all these bends going, but essentially that is what you want to get, okay? So you want to get your 2 folds there in the middle. Now this is where I bring in my Scotch tape, okay? And I just get one side taped together here. And just so I can start getting a little bit of, it's just hard to work with when it's just all folded and it doesn't have any form to it yet. So just take and put some Scotch tape on the back of it, and you'll see that fold. And it still kind of rounds up on you, but just play around with it like that, okay? And if you want, you can put a little bit of adhesive on these inside corners here, inside folds, like a little bit on the middle fold on the one side, and then put a little bit of snail on that side, and then that kind of gives you a little bit of help there. Okay, so there we've got our fold, and then I want to put it on my seafoam, and I want my seafoam to actually it to be centered on there. So what I'm going to do is take my ruler. I'm going to be measuring here, and it would have been very nice if I would have had my imperial measurements on my grid paper showing, but since I don't, I'm going to just make my 2-inch mark right there. And 2 inches is half of the 4, and then that tells me I want to cover up that right there. So what I'm going to do is put some adhesive on the back of the fold with my snail, and then I'm going to just line up this edge flush and halfway on each side of that 2-inch mark that I made. And there is my fold. And then I have this nice equal soft seafoam peeking through on the corners on the bottom. Now, easily just fold this over and fold this over. You could snip it off, but I just fold it right over. And actually, I'm going to put a little adhesive there. And I've got my fold there. Isn't that neat? And so I want to put my lovely lipstick on here. We are almost done with this card. Can you believe that? So I'm going to put a nice, generous helping of snail there because I'm going to put my ribbon on here. And this ribbon just covers up that line there. So there we go. Fold it around. There you go. And then we're going to put this on the front of the card. We are getting this card done lickety-split here. So let's throw that on the front there. And remember, we're going to have a 1/8 inch border the whole way around. Whoop. Let me get this a little closer to me. And we just look to see that we've got an equal amount of Flirty Flamingo peeking on the side of our soft seafoam. And then we're just going to build up these hearts here. But let's go ahead and stamp our Happy Valentine's on there. And I must have been feeling pretty lucky today because I should have stamped that first in case it didn't turn out. And then I could have flipped my paper, but I'm feeling lucky today. So we're getting a little bit of that lovely lipstick on there. And I'm going to actually stand up here, stamp Happy Valentine's Day. There we go. It turned out so. Okie dokie. So we've got Happy Valentine's Day, and then I just wanted to pop up some hearts from the Be Mine stitched framelits. Now you'll notice this die that's in here. Actually, the big heart and I've had these out doing different projects here. You'll notice that this heart here, when you cut it out, 2 pieces come from it. As you can see, I left this one in here to show you. This round border that goes around the heart, that pops out. And then what also pops out of that is a solid heart. Okay, so anytime that you use this die, you're getting 2 pieces of it, and there's a big heart in there too. So on this one, I had rolled through the white, and then I rolled through the Flirty Flamingo. So on this card, I'm going to just not have to do it again, and I just did the opposite on this card. Look at that. Haha. Okay, and so what we're going to do is put this onto our card. Now we're going to have to adhere these together, and what I did is I just turned this around and I put a little bit of Scotch tape right around the edges. Then when I turned it over, I saw where it might be peeking through, and I just put a little more tape right along those edges. And then I'm going to put some, here we go, I'm going to put some dimensionals up along the top here because part of the heart is going to be down here. So I'm just going to put some snail on the bottom of the heart. So we'll bring this up here and let's go ahead and take this off here. There we go. And I just put it onto the card so that it was essentially using up some space at the top. And there we've got that heart. And then there's a cute little heart. Here we go. A cute little heart here. And it actually, it cuts out the heart, but it also impresses a really pretty stitching into it. So what I did is I put a dimensional on the back of that. And I'm going to put it onto here. Now, I just remembered something fun I wanted to do. Because I was using this white, I want to put some pretty little pearls on these little tufts here. So what I'm going to do is just, if you're really careful when you roll that through the embossing folder, and you know, sometimes you just throw something in the embossing folder and you don't really mind where the actual embossed parts are. But on this one, put your heart in so it has a nice, even, that you can see exactly where the heart is going. And then you'll be assured that you can do this little technique here. Those little guys want to just jump all over the place, don't they? Okay, got another one here. This one, oh, I'm liking this. I mean, it probably could have been pretty on the Flirty Flamingo as well, but I really liked it on the white. So there we go. Look how pretty that looks. Okay, so now we already got him on there, and we're going to put 3 little pearls there. Now, I think on this card, since I didn't put the pearls on here, I put them over here. I'm just wondering. I think that might just be a little much. Did I put the dimensional on here? Yeah, I did. Okay, there we go. It's not sticking very well here. I think it's because it's on the, there we go. Just was popping up on there for me. So I'm just wondering, I don't know. I don't know if I should put those. I don't think I'm putting these pearls on. I think these pearls added enough, but on this card, because the pearls weren't here, I put these 3. I don't want to over adorn it. I'm more of a clean and simple girl. So there we go. We've got a cute little card made. It's the drapery fold or curtain fold, and just make yourself a template. I will post this picture of the template. Just make yourself a template. It's 3 inches by 11, and then you're just going to score it at 1.5, 2, 3, 3.5, 4.5, 5, 6, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, and then you're going to measure down a 1/2 inch on this side, 1/2 inch on the opposite side, and then you'll just take a tick mark and go down to the 5-inch mark on the left side, and then on the right side go from your 6-inch score line up to 1.5, and then you'll just cut that off, and then you're just going to accordion fold so that it folds into each other, and just fold the curtain back along the panel on the front. And look how simple this was a really simple card. So there you go, 2 different cards, pearls on this side, but pearls on this one. This one, when I rolled it through, I didn't give myself enough tufts there. So super simple card using the Meant to Be stamp set, bundled with the Be Mine framelits in the Occasions catalog with the All My Love ribbon and the All My Love Designer Series paper. If you have any questions, please feel free to text me or call me at 724-323-2296. You can always email me at cindyleeb@gmail.com. Thanks for buzzing by, friends.